He said that.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And he keeps saying that the police already noticed. The only one that don't notice is Mr. Muhammad. That's what he keeps saying in the press conference. So then if the only person that don't notice is Mr. Muhammad, who in the fuck is he telling? The only motherfucker that don't know who the traitor is. Mr. Muhammad. But we can't see it because we don't realize we got traitors in our midst and we got to get them out. So now, along comes Louis X, a violin player, smart than a motherfucker. He discovered a way using the Vadun to awaken the next ancestor without one of us having to literally die a physical death. Right. The perception is equally as effective as the reality. If you think that the ancestor is gone, it is sufficient in the minds of the mass that need the next ranking ancestor to step forward. Enough people believe it, it has to call forth the next ancestor. So the next ancestor would be the number 7. Right? And I can count all the way back to Garvey, but we don't have to go back that far.
Right.
Right? So all Tupac had to do is call the next ancestor. Whether he dead or not, whether Biggie dead or not, when them two are missing at the same time, it causes an effect. That grief that the people felt in their absence told the next ancestor, motherfucker, this shit bad. Wake your ass up. Right? So then all of the other chiefs proceed with their version of the war dance. So they all got to make a reference to one of the two chiefs, the Sitting Bull or the Tupac Amaru, right? So now this is going to awaken the worst one that if the right precautions ain't take, he the one you don't want to call. He's just going to start tearing up shit. This is one they call the Congo Spirit. The king of the Congo, King motherfucking Kong, the gorilla. When the gorilla knock is given by the White Lodge, which was given by Ronald Reagan, and the Black Lodge, shit bad. Now it's so bad that the black people and the white people using the same voodoo curse to break the oppression. They both calling the worst motherfucker at the same time. Both the white ones and the motherfucking black ones.
Yep.
So now, when did Ronald Reagan give the gorilla knock? When he called black people monkeys, when he was talking to the traitor Richard Milhouse Nixon. He identified the traitors by doing that. He had to let the people. So now, when the white people flip the monkey card, they calling on you to bring forth your next ancestor. We've been thinking they've been calling us a derogatory terminology. But if we knew Egyptian history, we'd know that the white people is the ones that's been calling for the liberation of black people more than black people. This is why they made King Kong. This is why they wrote Planet of the Apes. This is why they wrote Panther. So when the black people become so complacent in the oppression, you know why we get complacent? We too strong to be oppressed. There's nothing they can do that we can't find comfort in. Who can't stand to see us oppressed? The ones that keep saying, hey, get up.
Ourselves.
You can't stay there. You can break this motherfucking invisible chain. When you look at all of our active rebellions in the physical, it's always a white dude telling the black dude how to put the troops together, and it's a nigga that betray him. All of them. Denmark Vesey, Gabrielle Prosser. The only one that's the exception is who strictly followed the ancestral voice. The rest of them had to be woke up by white people. You froze up over there. Can y'all hit some likes if y'all can still hear me? Okay, I'm gonna keep talking then, since I don't know what's going on over there. He didn't froze up. But you know, when you start dropping that hot shit, that's what happened. So before he froze up, the whole system of oppression has been to snap us out of the slumber. Because somebody... Hey, Cynthia. So we go through all those movies: King Kong, Mighty Joe Young, Planet of the Apes, Turn of the Planet of the Apes, The New Planet of the Apes, The Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, The Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then you got the gorilla the Gorilla Clan and Panther tied to the Panther Clan, which is Bast, which takes you back to Egypt once again. When you start studying Bast, you know she was very close with the Thoth, who was represented then as the baboon, which was the lower aspect of the gorilla, because he's a volatile and hostile force to work with, because it's pure wisdom in the human form. If you don't prepare yourself right when you download, that shit will blow your fuses. Yep. Hey, Cecilia. So Catwoman, that's what she represent. Batman is representative of an ancient Aztec god, and the Catwoman is Bast coming to warn or support the Aztec god of the bat that they have, that they goes back before any of the comics. All of the comics is based off of either indigenous or Kinetic characters. The Hawk is supposed to be a man that turns into Osiris. Professor X, he's supposed to be Imhotep. And the Beast is supposed to be Thoth. You see, he's got the man gorilla form still. You still got that gorilla force being used by Imhotep and using the wisdom to help him develop things. And then they develop something called Cerebro, which is artificial intelligence, which is what represents the ego. And when you take the ego off, which is a symbol of putting Cerebro on, putting your mind on, and taking off your ego self, then this is when you advance to the next level, and then you start to see with sight beyond sight. This is what they call telekinesis, clairvoyance, psychokinesis. All of those mind-moving things are kinetic sciences, moving them with the mind, kinesis. They had a whole study in Russia on it that they got from the Nazis in Germany, as they field the study, which launched America to do their control remote viewing studies on how to teach people to use their psychic abilities. And they give them what they call a control until the control becomes associated with the thing. It's all it is teaching them how to calibrate what they're seeing into a form that the mind can translate it in a language they can express. So you already know everything, but you got to learn how to tap into it. And this is what all of those ancestral relics was to do, was to tap you back into your ancestral mindset, so that the ancestor that can use you the most can get busy in cleaning up the bullshit. So that's why they was stealing all the relics out of the pyramids. They didn't want us looking at that shit. And then they realized that if we was looking at it, it could probably wake us up. They started taking it on tour in museums. The European is the ones that's been trying to wake us up the most, because they the ones that can see the threat the clearest, because they the ones that's the closest to the oppressor than we are.
It's been a game of tag back and forth. It's a black and white checkerboard, and we've been playing on both sides of this motherfucker. You know, but it's fifth dimensional, so it's layers to this shit. So then you got to play chess on multiple layers, corporate chess. Then you got to play what they call political chess. Then you got to play medical chess. You got all these different people that's controlling shit. You have to challenge them at their own game and come out victorious and show them why they full of shit. That's called reclaiming your birthright. But you got to do it. All begin with the knowledge of self, and that's why you learn self-talk. But they told you crazy if you talk to yourself. But they teach self-talk to entrepreneurs and to advanced learning children on how to use them better in a more advanced setting, in a controlled setting where they can take their inventions and their scientific creations that they learn through having a self-conversation with their evolved ego and a higher God self to tell them the solution to the problem. No, sweetie, they stop these videos all the time because of what I be saying. It be an intentional Facebook thing where they stop my videos. Yeah, self-talk is a key component of waking up because you have to have an internal dialogue with the information in order to find out if the information is true or false. Your inner self, your God self, can tell you if it's false better than a person that's fact checking behind you. So you can know on a different level. And this is turning on your higher senses, your higher abilities of downloading information and learning. And so, yep, Tomorrowland, the movie. Yep. So a good understanding of how it works is a set of books called A Conversation with God by a guy named Neil Donald Walsh, and it's a really good read. He got like volume 1, 2, and 3. I think he got like 4 and 5 now. But it really gives you a good concept of when you talking to God and how God talk back to you versus how he'll talk back to me. You know. Yep. So when you start having self-talk, your ego has to talk. Who gonna answer? The only person there to answer has to be your higher self. So your ego has to get a higher authority to answer the question. You know, I'm trying to see if I got any questions because it's about the end of this one. Okay, so now, in order to fix anything wrong with yourself, you first have to know what needs to be fixed. And that's why you watch other people's behavior around you and ask yourself, do you do that? Yeah, there's a whole lot of traveling going on in the energy realms right now. A lot of people are waking up to their abilities, and some of them are, done with their physical symptoms, and now they're experiencing what they would consider as a hallucination, but it's not a hallucination. They really doing that shit. When they have sleep, they running around the house, probably naked, thinking that why nobody don't see me. And they think they bugging out. You ain't bugging out. You waking up. Some of them find themselves in Egypt or find themselves down there in the Central America, Aztec pyramids or something in a different time. All those things are just symptoms. You waking up. Your higher self is using old memories to wake you up. You know. And so, let me look at the time up here. It's 2:46. That's a 2:96 on the turnaround. That's 2:69. That's balancing 2. Me and the brother then flip to y'all this balance session and how to get balance with the self. So at that, we in this. So peace, family. Y'all be good, and we'll be back at y'all when we get some more information. Out.
Um,
You watch nothing. Just go to bed. Or go brush your teeth.
Sound like somebody doing mama duties over there.
Yes. Look, they don't want to go to bed. Say hi.
Hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
They busy. Peace, peace. Oh my gosh. Listen. Everything you've been saying, I've been wrecking my brain trying to get the people on board because they coming out these dirty boys. My son, my baby.
I just got
Say hi. Look, hi. Listen, so I was, you know, Black Magic channel. 1 second, baby. Black Magic channel that you was on. It's like right after you was on talking to the brother. He had this one guy called Duke of Tears, right? So I joined in on, you know, to watch him on YouTube. This guy was saying, he was like, yes, so we are the Moors, and we're over here, and we've always been here, and this is our land. He was like, the only way for us to win is to get a nationality card. And I'm like, no. Look, I'm like, no, because that is what, once again, it's a part of the corporation. That's why we up under this mess dealing with the corporation. Yep. Let me tell you, I think he had his girl handling all the texts that people, because he was live, and she was coming at me like low key. You could tell she was like in the background trying to tell the people, like, I was like, didn't the Moors get kicked out of Europe? And when they got kicked out of Europe in 1492, then they end up over here. She made it seem like, no, we always been here. And I'm like, okay, no, so not the same people.
Let me explain to you what they're doing. If you understand what they're doing, and it won't work on you.
But they coming out now, like you said. Because she felt some kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I definitely wanted to mention this March 16th Blue Out Wednesday post Larry Hoover hashtag with the Nipsey Blue.
March 16th? My brother just had a birthday. The one that I said you remind me of. His birthday was March the 5th.
Now look, March the 16th is the day they snatched Larry up.
Okay.
So this is a full turnaround to the day.
I feel it. Listen, I feel it. I feel it in the air. I feel it in the wind. I don't know what it is, but spiritually, and I've been noticing it for years, I have crows. I know they're not crows. I have ravens, big, nice, black, pretty ravens, especially when I'm with my babies. If I could take them to the park or something, they fly over, like it's like protection kind of. And I'm getting it from a spiritual. So I'm trying to in tune and listen, especially if I'm behind the vehicle. Like if I'm on a block and when I say they flock heavily around me, I be seeing the ravens fight the pigeons. It's crazy. So the pigeons would be on the wires, you know, on the wires, the pole wires. And the ravens will come out of nowhere. I could be sitting in my car, and they will, and the pigeons will fly away, and the ravens will sit there. I feel like I'm protected when I see them.
So you know, a pigeon is a dove.
Okay.
And the dove comes in multiple colors and subspecies.
Okay.
So the pigeon is the same bird.
Okay.
The raven brings the message from the other side, from the ancestor.
Okay.
When you have a flock of ravens around you, this is the ancestors watching over you.
Even when I'm not, if my son, because my son, he stays outside riding his bike. He like to do the wheelie up and down the street. If you follow his page, he'll have the ravens over him too. Like, and I'm like, cause I said, that's Big Mama. They making sure that y'all protected. Like I feel it. Like I know everything you say is real.
I love the babies.
Yeah, he like you, that one right there. I think he a kind, like you said, that's a conjure baby. I conjured him up. Let me tell you what I got deep into. I got deep into, you know how they say they attach the spirits to the liquor, to the alcohol, right? I said these commercials that tell you to drink responsibly, but they're not telling you that these are real spirits that was attached to them. So what I
So
go ahead.
they use specific alcohols for spirit transfer. It's normally red wine. And the reason why they use the red wine is because they normally infuse it with adrenochrome or some kind of blood product.
Okay.
Right. So drinking my blood, eating my flesh, thinking them times.
That church stuff. My body, the blood is for the wine is for the drink, the wine of the blood, and the chip or the crackers was for the body. Yeah, that they did in church.
It's called a ritual. It's called a cannibalistic ritual.
Yeah.
By cannibalizing the god, the belief is that you can incorporate the body of the god into your body.
Okay.
Right. So this gets cannibalism. And one of the things that the cannibals tell you is when they first eat somebody, that they get a rush, and the rush is the energy from that person they absorb.
Okay.